What's up guys, this is Setsme and I'm coming to you with a brand new deck profile today, and today I am going to be going over Phantom Knights. Now these cards are coming out tomorrow in Wing Raiders, and quite honestly these guys are actually pretty good. They're pretty quick, pretty consistent, and that really has a lot to do with their traps and being able to get them into the graveyard. Do I think this deck is going to be top tier? I think it has potential if it gets the right amount of support. What we're getting in Wing Raiders isn't really everything that I think the deck needs in order to be really top tier. There are a couple level 4 monsters that are Phantom Knights. However, I believe they're Broken Helm and like Weakened Armor or something like that, and they're just not really like fantastic. The Helm is really not a good card for the deck, and then the armor, it can give you draw power, but it's really at best you don't want to play more than one of it. And quite honestly, I don't like the card whatsoever. It's usually a dead draw for me in testing. So let's get into this. I am playing 3 the Phantom Knights of Silent Boots, 3 Phantom Knights of Dusty Robe, 3 Rugged Glove. For the support, I'm playing double Kagamucha Knight, double Marauding Captain. For a bit of an engine, 3 Speedroid Terrortop, double Speedroid Takentumborg, and then 1 Mathematician. For the spells, I'm playing 1 Phantom Spear. This card's pretty interesting. I'll go over it at the end. Double Twin Twister, double MST, because sometimes I don't always want to dump, and being able to pop some stuff is pretty good as well. On top of this, 1 Rhoda, 1 Raigeki, 1 Foolish. For traps, 3 Phantom Knights of Dark Gauntlet, 3 Phantom Wing, double Phantom Sword, 1 Fogblade. Double Magic Hats. This can actually be really abused in this deck. 1 Bottomless Trap Hole and 1 Solemn Warning. For the extra deck, I am playing 3 Phantom Knights of Breaksword. This card is fantastic. It has a bit of a Scrap Dragon effect, which is really nice. Double Dante. Some builds I've seen online are playing 3. I really never need 3. I think 2 is perfectly fine. 1 number 30 as a Golem of Destruction. 1 number 47, 1 Alucard, which is also coming out in Wing Raiders, so pick that up. It's going to be a rare, I believe. Double Downward Magician. This card is pretty interesting just because it's so easy to use. 1 Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, 1 Black Ship of Corn, 1 Master Key Beetle, 1 Steel Swarm Roach, and finally 1 Evil Swarm Nightmare. So I'll explain a couple things really quick. So, Silent Boots is probably going to be the best Phantom Knights monster in the main deck. If you don't know what he does, if you control a Phantom Knights monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. So, it's kind of like a reverse Marauding Captain. And if it's in the graveyard, you can add 1. You can banish him and then add 1 Phantom spell or trap card from your deck to your hand. Except for Horn of the Phantom Beast, because that's not in the archetype. Phantom Knights of Dusty Robe. This guy is kind of interesting. If he's in attack position, you can target 1 dark monster on the field, change it to defense position, and if you do, the target gains 800 attack and defense until the end of your opponent's next turn, which can be pretty helpful sometimes. And then he can also banish himself to add any Phantom Knights card from your deck to your hand, so you can search out either of these 2 guys or any the spell or the traps as well. Phantom Knights of Rugged Glove is probably my favorite one to have in the graveyard. Just because he can extend your plays a lot. You can banish him from the graveyard and then send 1 Phantom Knights card in general from your deck to the graveyard. And then a Dark Xyz monster that was summoned using him as an Xyz material gains 1000 attack. So that's pretty useful as well. The Kagamucha Knights are pretty cool because they get around things like Bottomless. And because he's a 0 attack point monster, really you're just going to be using him for rank 3 material. He's pretty cheap as I recall, but that might change because he is a secret rare. At the moment he's going for under $1, but that might change because he's pretty useful for this deck, especially because he's a dark level 3 warrior, so he kind of fits the theme. Marauding Captain, if you don't know this card, this guy is like incredibly old. He's been around for a long time. When this card is normal summon, you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower monster from your hand. He, again, allows you to extend your level 3 plays. And then the Speedroid engine allows you to go into a free rank 3 for no cost whatsoever. You don't need to use your normal summon or anything, so it's pretty useful. And then obviously Mathematician, just because he's a level 3 and he can dump cards so you can search. The best trap card of the deck by far is Dark Gauntlet. You get to send 1 Phantom Spell trap card from your deck to the graveyard. Pretty much all of your Phantom Knight cards except for Dark Gauntlet are Monster Reborns for your Phantom Knights, and that's why I'd only play 6 of them. I really don't think you need more. By the time that you go through these, you're pretty well set up, and there's not really any other room. Phantom Spear is pretty cool because he activates in the graveyard as well. Basically, if a dark monster you control would be destroyed by battle, an opponent's card effect, you can banish this card from the graveyard instead. It's essentially like a the Void Quick Play spell from Infernoids. So not bad. Also, if it's on the field and your opponent activates a card that would target one of your Phantom Knight monsters, you get to inflict 500 damage immediately after it resolves. So essentially, kind of has a Red Eyes, Dark Flare, Metal, the Xyz Red Eyes effect on the field. So that's pretty cool. The 3 Phantom Wing just gives you one of your monsters 500 attack, and it can't be destroyed by battle or by card effects. So that's pretty cool. But more importantly, it's better in the grave. Phantom Sword is pretty cool. Gives a monster 800 attack. And if it would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can destroy this guy instead. Fogblade is definitely my least favorite because he's a pseudo Fiendish Chain, but it's a little bit worse because it can't be the monster that can't be affected, like that you affect the negates of and can't attack. That monster cannot be targeted for attack. So it's kind of, sometimes it defeats the purpose, but if you can get out a Phantom Knights of Breaksword, you can get around that a little bit. And also targeting is not like a huge thing at the moment in the meta, so Phantom Fogblade isn't like extremely useful. Magic Hats allows you to use all of these trap cards as well as Phantom Spear by sending them basically directly to the graveyard, so Magic Hat's definitely useful for that. 1 Bottomless Trap Hole because he's good, and then 1 Solemn because he's good as well. Let's talk about Phantom Knights of Breaksword as well. He's a generic level 3, so he can be used in anything that's a level 3 toolbox. But what's really cool about this guy is that he is again, the Scrap Dragon effect, where you can target 1 card on the field and on each side of the field and destroy them, including himself, so he can trigger his other effects, so that when he is destroyed after being Xyz summoned, you can target 2 Phantom Knight monsters in your graveyard with the same level, special summon and increase their level by 1. And you can't special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except dark monsters, which isn't really too much a concern because the rank 4, all your rank 4 monsters should be dark, and they're actually pretty good. Black Shrimpacorn is a pretty decent card. Key Beetle's not a bad card at all. Probably my favorite one would probably be Nightmare, just simply because he is essentially a walking, quaking mirror force. That's always pretty useful. 2 Dante, milling cards is not a big problem in this deck, so this is actually a pretty decent card as well. The Acid Golem, probably my least favorite card. I'm probably going to take this out for the new Gram Pulse that's coming out, the Super Quantum Fish thing, just because it can pop spell or trap cards. It kind of does the Alucard thing, but it doesn't need to be a set card. It can be face-up cards, so it can target spell card, pendulum cards as well. So Acid Golem might come out for that. Nightmare Shark is pretty cool because he's essentially the cowboy for the deck. Alucard he gets to pop set cards. That's pretty awesome as well. Downer Magician lets me overlay over Phantom Knights of Breaksword after I special summon it with one of the Phantom trap cards. So that's pretty cool for that, and allows me to get it up to 2300 attack. The Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon, obviously this is Yudo's deck from the anime, so of course we're playing this, and it's not a bad card to begin with. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you guys for watching this deck profile. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and as always guys, have a nice day.